Welcome to 99% Pickleball, a podcast by Empower Pickleball. We're your hosts, Nikki Maldonado
and Mari Humberg, and we are back again. Nikki, what the heck happened to you?
Mari, number one, you didn't take...
I can't. And this is hilarious. I'm just cracking up at myself. I'm looking at you, and all I can see on my screen is your red face.
Well, if that's not a reason to watch, then I don't know what is. My gosh. Yeah. You know what? I'm just going to say MLP happened to me. How about that? MLP happened to me. Yeah.
Hey, wasn't it raining?
MLP did this to me.
What?
It was raining yesterday. And also, you know what? On cloudy days, that's when the sun is the worst, actually. No, this was actually from today only. And I was there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the MLP got me.
I would like for you to pull your shirt up. I need it.
Listen. For the sake of getting folks to listen to this podcast and watch this podcast, I will
watch
do it.
After hearing me crack up at you for the past 2 minutes, like, I don't know what'll get them here, Nikki.
All right.
So this is my...
So for the listeners, if you're driving, please don't. If you're going to watch, you have to pull the car over or just watch later on anywhere, really, on Spotify, YouTube, Apple. Just gonna put that out there. You can watch there. For everybody else, here we go. All right. So this is what happened. I'm just going to carefully... Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
It gets better when you show it a second time. That is incredible.
Yeah, I was working hard, Mari. I was out there working.
I have like the little tank top tan, but obviously that's not what's going on with you.
No one's ever going to see it. So I told my partner, I was like, I have to just make sure I wear sleeves, because usually I roll up my sleeves. I was like, no, I have to wear sleeves that are long enough to cover this. And then I was like, maybe I should get either like an arm brace or like really long gloves and just go sit out in the sun and have it just like right there. I don't know. If anybody has any recommendations for me, what I need to do, because this is brutal. This is tough. This one's tough. Yeah. Thank you, Mari. Thank you for just calling attention to that. In case anyone was watching and they hadn't already noticed on their own.
But Nikki, let's catch up. We're doing this thing,
Mm-hmm.
When we recorded that first episode, when it's a new project, new people, and you're getting to kind of figure out each other, I wasn't sure how this was going to go. And let me tell you, it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's actually kind of nice. It's weird. It's like we're flowing, we're grooving. We're now 5 episodes in. Can you believe that?
5 already?
Yeah. You and me, Sarah Ansberry, Zane and Nico, Adam Benke last week. So this is number 5.
Number 5. Wow. You're right.
Yeah.
Math is hard.
Yeah, I know. Math is hard because you have scorekeepers to do it for you. That's
exactly.
why. You don't have to count. But once upon a time, you used to be able to count 5. Maybe not anymore. Man, sorry, Mari.
Yeah, you're just shots. I fired some shots at you. I deserve it. Go ahead. You have a couple more left.
I just came from MLP, so I couldn't not. I've literally had people screaming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the past 3 days. So how could I not? How could I not? But what a wild month that we've had just doing this thing, just grinding with interviews, which is the guests that I just named have been fantastic, but you don't even know what's coming. Like the guests that are about to launch in the next coming weeks, it just keeps getting better and better and better. They're all amazing.
They really are.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about hosting a podcast?
Honestly, it's just been fun to kind of express some of the opinions and things that I like to talk about. And I just love hearing a completely different perspective on it. That's been the highlight for me. I mean, we were just briefly talking about this off camera here, just how I love to hear what you think about things, because I was like, wow, I just don't think about it like that because I am on the inside of the pro world, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of right outside of it, but closely related to it. So it's so interesting getting to know someone that's as passionate about the sport, but in a different way, and that we get to bond over that and share that love for the sport. So it's been special. It's been a really cool time so far. And I've been talking to some people about it. People will come up to me, hey, I listened to the pod, or message me about it. That's super cool, obviously.
Yep.
We got to dethrone Zane and Nico, clearly.
Down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
There's
take
no
down the
chance
boys.
We don't. So yeah, basically, I think it's been really fun, but it's been a really just long month for me too, to be honest. Since we recorded, Nikki, our first episode, I was in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
From Costa Rica, I went to Columbus for MLP. From Columbus, I went to Brazil for 2 weeks to visit family.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
From Brazil, I went back and immediately went to St. Pete.
Yeah.
From St. Pete,
oh my gosh,
I went back home. And then the craziness with the trade came about. So it's just been kind of a whirlwind of events. And right before we recorded our first episode, actually There was Cayman Islands somewhere in the middle there. After Costa Rica, I went to the
After
Cayman
Costa Rica,
Islands
that's right, yeah.
because that's when I got my cortisone shot and I'm actually feeling great again, no pain. So I'm back to
Yeah.
practice, which was something that I wasn't able to do for the past 3 months due to the pain.
Mm.
So it's just, I mean, I've got the podcast, I've got to practice, I have my content, I have my online instructional stuff with Transition Zone Pickleball. I have a life.
What? What is that? I don't know what that is, so please enlighten me.
There's a lot of things going on. Not much sleep, but I don't think I would change any of it. To be honest, it's
Y
been a pretty great time.
I don't know, you sleep late. You sleep in late, so that's when you sleep.
I do.
After
I
a
do sleep
tournament,
in
you
late.
sleep for, like, 2 days straight, don't you? It's, like,
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's how I recover, and then I just get back to it. But
Back to the grind.
you've had quite a bit of travel too, haven't you?
Yeah, I was in Mexico City, I was in Las Vegas, and I traveled right across the river to Randall's Island for MLB. It was 10 minutes away.
That's right.
Yeah, that's about as much travel as I've had. However, I'm about to travel. I'm about to hit the road. I'm gonna be in New York City for, like, 2 weeks this summer. I'm just gonna be on the road nonstop for the next, like, month and a half or something. It's gonna be crazy, but, it's gonna be fun. So it'll be good to some work stuff, some fun stuff, some pickle stuff.
Okay.
I'll be traveling for pickleball finally. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm hitting up PickleCon. Have you
Let's
heard of
go.
PickleCon?
In
Have you heard of
Kansas
that?
City?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I actually have. Look at that.
Check
Uh,
them out, PickleCon. You made it. Mari Humberg knows who you are.
I try to pay attention to what's happening, but that's cool. I have
Yeah.
not attended, but I was actually in Kansas City during when it was happening
Hmm.
in 24.
Yeah, they're really getting they're, like, ramping up. They're getting some stuff going, so hopefully it'll be a good year, and we'll have a good time. I'll be out there with Nico the Lefty, actually. We're gonna be doing a content creator, I don't know, experience or something where you can, like, challenge us or it'll be fun. It's just crazy just how life takes just takes you, right? And, doing this podcast has been wild. I just wanna quickly say that, like, this weekend at MLP, so many people came up to me and were like, "Love the podcast," and they also knew the name
That's
99%
awesome.
Pickleball, and so many of them, Mari, go, "Mari is so funny, and Mari is so smart." And I was like, "Cool."
What about me?
I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, what would you say if she was here?" They would all just flock to you. So, yeah, I was like,
I'll
"Yeah,
just
mhm,
talk to
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah." I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, yeah, thanks, thanks." Like,
Yeah.
she is, you're right. Yeah,
Hey,
that's
for the
why she's my
people wondering, by the
co-host.
way, Nikki is the one that reached out to me about this. So,
There you go. That's
just to
true.
leave it out there,
Just putting it
I
out
did
there.
respond.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hit you up and I was like, "Hey, why do you not do more? Come on. You got a good
Well,
presence,
I
like, come
did
on."
mention to you, I've been wanting to do a podcast for a while.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell, I like to talk. I'm in New York, but we're not in the same location, Nikki.
We are
Uh,
literally, like, 15 minutes apart, and if I had a little bit more time after MLP to get my life together, then we'd be together.
that's
But
true.
it's
But
okay.
then we're gonna see each other tomorrow, so we're gonna be okay.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow. So
So
pretty
what a crazy
pretty
yeah.
busy month.
Pretty busy. And I feel like, Mari, things got even busier for you. Or I wouldn't even say busier, but yeah, I would say it was a little chaotic last week. Things got a little crazy, where you had some plans and then those plans changed, not by your choice necessarily per se, but the plans changed on you and you were like waiting for a call. So you want to just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. First of all, I signed up for this. Okay. I just
That's
want to
true.
start with that of the life that I'm living right now of a professional athlete, which it's still hard for me to believe that this is what I'm doing with my life right now. I worked a corporate job for years. I sat at a desk for 8 hours a day. I was taking calls. I was having to wear regular clothes, not like chill athleisure clothes
It's
all
for
the
the
time.
birds. For the birds. Corporate
Yeah.
attire is not,
I still
yeah,
have
not
so
it.
much in my closet too. And I'm
Get
just
rid
like,
of
what
it.
do I do
Burn
with
it.
it?
Burn it all.
Burn it. Okay. Anyway.
Don't even give it away because nobody
Yeah.
should have that. Nobody should be wearing corporate attire. But anyway, sorry, carry on, carry on. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. That's
Burnt Nikki is a little bit more aggressive, you know? We're gonna call her Burnt Nikki. All right. Anyway, we're on one today, Nikki. It's just something that you kind of agree to this hectic schedule. You agree to
yeah.
changes. I don't have full control over everything that's happening, though I do get to choose the tournaments during the individual part of the season, right? So for PPAs, I have a number of tournaments in my contract that I need to attend. I can look at the calendar and I can select if there are less tournaments than what I need. I can choose or opt to not go to some. There
Mm,
are locations that I like more than others.
New York City.
I'm human.
New York City.
New York City
No,
is
she doesn't.
tough to
You
come
don't like
to.
you don't like big cities.
I don't like big cities. But anyways,
Mm.
besides the point, Nikki. Yeah,
Okay, okay,
basically
sure,
we
sure,
get
sure.
to determine our individual
That's
schedule, right?
that's good to know because
For
people
MLP,
will give you guys a hard time for not being at those things. So, yeah.
right. It's also just sometimes there's 4 weeks in a row and I'm human. I need a break. I know my limits. I know when
Right.
I'm going to have to go home or when a break might be necessary. So, anyways, I try to make my schedule way ahead of time. I actually already
Yep.
have my schedule through the year, but that's also a curse because listen to what happened.
Mm,
Basically, I was traded right after an event. Okay. So
mhm,
this is how this works. We are on MLP teams, correct? Major League Pickleball has 20 teams, and us players that are in the pool of signed players can be selected or bought into any of these
mhm,
teams. Now, when I say bought, I want to be clear here. They buy us from the league. We are owned by the league because we signed contracts to the league.
mhm.
So when they purchase the players, the money does not go to the players. It goes to the league.
Like, this was a big conversation with Anna Bright, obviously the $1,000,000 baby, right?
Mhm.
She doesn't see that. That was
And
the
that'd be pretty
team
cool, right?
purchasing. Yeah, yeah, right? Someday it will get there, but
Someday.
that day is not today.
Right. So I was dropped after last season with the fives. They had the intention of picking up Georgia from the start. So that's kind of, they
Yep.
opened up that spot. Me and Megan were both dropped. So I got picked up in the draft, I think as the number five, six pick, whatever it was, for $75,000. I think it was something like that. But that money does not go directly to me. That goes to the league, and I was owned by
Right.
the Chicago Slice. Great. Essentially, these decisions are usually from both sides. Usually we know this is one that we did get to talk a little bit about it, and I think we agreed that it was kind of beneficial for a change. So for both sides, and I'm good with
That's
it.
good.
Now,
Yeah.
when that happens, you don't know where you're going to end up, and that's the day that you're like panicking, of like,
Yeah.
oh goch.
Well, it's one thing to not know where you're headed, but it's another thing to not know, like, what is my next day looking like? Like, you had a flight
Exactly,
booked to New York City in the
I did.
morning. The next morning, we were, like, feverishly texting back and forth saying, "Are you coming? What's the plan?" Whatever.
I didn't know.
And you
And I
just
kept
didn't
telling you,
know.
I was like, I just don't know yet.
Yep.
So I'm getting calls. I got text calls from a few teams throughout the day. So I know that there were a lot of players involved in this trade. But essentially, the first 4-team trade occurred in the history of MLP, and I was part of it. Now, 4 teams with money being thrown around, players being thrown around. And can you imagine how many calls these owners had to be on that day?
I imagine it's like one of those murder, like, detective mystery things where there's, like, a whiteboard and they're all connected to, like, a little piece of string and everything. That's what I feel like happened with the owners all got into a room and just did that for, like,
Right.
24 hours. Yeah.
The things that we don't see that happen behind the scenes is I know for a fact that there were other 2 teams at least
Yeah.
involved in the conversations that didn't even make a trade.
Mm, mm.
So, with that,
They
they
were
probably go back
thinking
and
about
forth
it.
and say,
Mhm.
"This team offered this team offered that. We could do this instead. Here's the other option that we have." Think about just how many scenarios there are. But to your point, we just don't know what our next day looks like. So,
Yep.
ultimately, at almost 10 PM, I think it was actually 9:30 PM the day
Yep.
before, I was about to start packing. I know for a fact I'm friends with Angie Walker, and she was involved in this 4-team trade as well. She told me she had already packed. She
Man.
was also going to New York, right? So it's a situation where I was just waiting. I was like, I'm not going to pack and unpack, so I'm waiting for this call. I
Yep.
get a call from the GM of the bouncers saying, "We got you. You're in. Cancel your flight." I was like, "All right." So what does she mean by that? Just to make sure everyone here is following. On the Chicago Slice, I was supposed to play the New York event, which, by the way, I got 5 messages saying, "I'm so disappointed you won't be here. Can this trade go into effect after this event?" I'm sorry, I have no control over any of
Please.
this.
Please. Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Yep.
So essentially, I was
And
supposed to
one of those
be
texts was
in
not
New
from
York.
me for the record. So that
It
means
was
other
not.
people besides
She
I was
only
also
thought it.
disappointed.
She didn't text me.
Yeah. I said, "All right, see you someday, Maury." No.
See you Sunday. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, instead of going to New York, which was my next event for the Chicago Slice, the bouncers were not participating in the New York event. So
Yep.
I now have to wait until the midseason tournament in Grand Rapids to play with my new team. While Elsie, which was the one that went to the Slice, had no plans to go to New York because she was
Mhm.
on a shock.
Who knows what
And
she had
she
planned
had to
this
find a
weekend?
way. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't have the information on what was happening there. But it's not just me, right? This
Yeah.
happened for a ton of players. And for example, the slice had the hotel booked for me. Essentially everything changes. So there's just so many moving pieces that
Yeah.
it's hard to keep up with. And I know that a lot of our audience for MLP gets pretty upset about these changes to these teams and say it's hard to keep up and it's hard to cheer for a team. I think this league is kind of establishing itself slowly into something that's going to be
Agreed.
really, really great. And greatness just takes time. So give it time, trust the process. And I will say, as a player, I enjoy these events a lot. And Nikki, you might have questions for me, but I also just want to hear about as a fan this
Yeah.
weekend and someone that's been around for a full year now.
A whole
How
year.
did you feel? Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy because it was like, Nico dropped that little bit of news and then everyone was just about your trade and about Hunter's
Oh, yeah,
trade,
I didn't
right?
even talk about that.
Yes. Just know that Nico posted that and then everyone is just like a buzz. What's going on? What's happening with
Well,
Mari?
I
Where's
wake
Mari
up to,
going?
like, 50 texts, and I was like, "What's happening?" Because I had gotten a call before from the Slice saying, "Hey, we found a new home for you." And I was like, "Who is it?" And they said, "The Shock." And I'm like, "Wait, this doesn't make any sense." Nothing against The Shock, and
Sure, sure,
I
sure.
obviously, it's a great organization. They're one of the big contenders to win it this year, but
Yeah.
girls seem pretty well established.
Yep.
I think I'm at the level now where I should be playing on an MLP team, but
Yep.
I didn't even know about this rule of 3 top 20s not being allowed to be on
Yeah.
the same team.
So for anyone listening who doesn't know, and I think that's also just important to pause really quickly and say that, as this is 99% pickleball, we do talk about, we're looking to expand conversations beyond the pro world. However, part of this unique podcast is that we also want to inform rec players of the pro world more. We want to help bring those worlds together. And part of that is having Mari here and being able to give us that insight. So I think you being able to share this is super insightful. So a couple of things. Number one, the rule that you're talking about, just so folks at home who might not know this, you cannot have, and when was this rule made? This was
I think
right
it's
before
been
this?
like yeah, right before the
It's
season started,
it's
so
very
maybe a
recent.
month or 2. Yeah.
It's a very recent rule that was updated from the MLP saying that you cannot have 3 top 20 team members of the same gender. So you cannot have 3 top 20 women
But
or 3 top 20
you can
men.
have a
Mhm.
top 20 singles player, I believe.
Yeah.
So, for example,
Oh,
the
yes.
Sliders have Paris and Tyra, they're top 20 in doubles, and
Yes.
Udit is top 20 in
Yeah.
singles.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. But otherwise your team would be just so like ungodly stacked basically. Yeah.
And you kinda put someone that a top 20 player. I think I'm number 18 right now in women's doubles or something like that. I would like to be playing doubles, right? And
You'd be
you'd
sitting the
be
whole
putting
season.
me in a situation where I'm sitting and that's not where
Mhm.
I wanna be. So I think that's also why that rule was added.
That makes
So you
sense.
can't hold someone back from playing for the other teams and so
Right.
that you can't bench someone like that. I think that's
That's
the
exactly right.
objective of
Yeah.
the rule.
Which I think makes sense. Some people were just like confused by that and just like, what is that? And then
Nico
obviously
releasing news
the
that
video with
weren't
that.
out yet, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then Eric
Come
Tice
on,
called him out
Nico.
about, yeah, about saying like, oh, and you got to know the rules or whatever. So yeah, it was just crazy. There was a crazy spiral that started from that where everyone was just like, where is Mari going? And then so many people were asking me, and I was like, I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I was like, she doesn't know either. Nobody knows. The other point I wanted to make was this league is foundationalizing right now. This league is setting itself up for the future and it's playing around with the rules and it's playing around with different things, different, experiences, all of that. And so it's still very, very new. And so a lot of folks who are in the pro world, there are a lot of people who have been in the pro world, like as far as fans, for a very long time. And they forget that this is all still super new, still super early.
Mhm.
And then on the other side, then there are folks who are new to the game who are like, "What's going on? Why don't you already have this down?" And then it's like, "No, no, no, hang on, hang on. This is also again still very new, right?" So the sport is so young that we need to give it time. I think give these leagues a little bit of time to figure their stuff out because right now it's just and to your point, I think it's all good stuff. Yes, they're gonna miss on some of these rules, and that's okay, and some of the processes and everything, that's okay. But I do think that overall this stuff is, and these teams are even like I said about this trade, these teams are trying to set their foundation for the future, right?
Right.
Dallas wants Danielle Townsend for her future and liked what they saw from her and Alex. So, of course, it makes sense. They're wanting to create this new dynamic or whatever. And I actually see them potentially, who knows, but I think Dallas sees them as a dynasty contender down the road as a pairing. And then, of course, if they have the right guys, which right now I think maybe they do. But, anyways, my point is just, folks, I think forget how this is still early. So give them a little bit of grace. I
Mhm.
think, as a fan, the other answer that I'll give you is it was just wild to watch and you're just like
Yeah.
spinning and it was a really cool experience for me to get knowing you that you didn't know what was going on and for me to go the players don't even know what's going on. Like they are just maybe I'll take a flight tomorrow, maybe I
Right.
won't, maybe I'll change my
It's
weekend plans.
nerve-wracking.
Maybe I'll just get to watch the Brazil game. Who knows, right? I don't know how you guys do it. I think it's just very, very impressive that I'm not going to say just signing your life away, but kind of like your life is kind of in the hands of this. And that's the life of a
Yeah.
pro athlete. But this
Well, this is our
pickleball
first
has pro
experience with
athletes.
the MLP season being just in the summer, and it's happening so fast.
Yeah.
When it was spread out across the entire year, when a trade was made, you had a few weeks to prep. It's like, no, I'm on the
Nope.
bouncers now. If they would have played New York, I would have been there representing a different team. So
Yep. Yep.
it was even crazy. The next morning, instead of being in New York, I went to practice and I turned on the TV and the slice is playing. So I'm looking. I think it was I practiced with Paris and she looked. I don't think she kept up with the trade. She goes, "Wait, why aren't you there?" It's like, "Oh, I got traded."
Yeah, that's
So
amazing
it
when
was just
when other players are just like, nah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
well, we
Oh my
try
gosh.
to obviously, it's also our job, so we need to disconnect a little bit. It is
Yeah,
important to
that's
do.
fair.
So a lot of times I don't my mom will ask, "Did you see that this happened?" No,
Nope.
I didn't.
Yeah. You got mom to keep you up on the news.
Yeah, mom is on
Oh
it
my
for
gosh.
sure.
So Mari, props to you for just taking that all with grace and staying super resilient through the week and through the weekend. And we definitely missed you at MOP this weekend. It was a wild, wild dream breaker weekend. And I want to talk about something about who is in your former spot. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I just want to give props to you because and folks were asking me this weekend also, how many people I should have started counting how many people were talking to me about you this weekend.
You should have had a
It's like
Mari counter.
I should have
Yeah.
had next time, I'm literally gonna have a Mari counter. I'm just gonna click, 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 click every time. But they were asking me, "Oh, how's Mari doing? How's Mari feeling about the trade?" So I had to go and be your PR person. Yeah, Mari's doing
I
great. Yeah, so
appreciate that. Thank
yeah,
you,
I got
Nikki.
you. I got you. But is there anything else about this trade that folks may not know? And yeah, I guess the other thing that people probably want to know is like, how are you feeling about your new team? How are you feeling about your new
Yeah.
teammates? Like, let's talk about now, not just what happened, but the future.
Yeah, I'm super excited with where I landed. So I have played with Jesse in the past a couple of
Hmm.
times. Our game styles mesh super well, so I'm excited to keep exploring that. Now, what people are probably going to say is we have pretty different personalities on the court.
A
I'm
little
very
bit
smiley and bubbly, and I like the energy, and she's much more quiet and, straight faced and more to
stoic.
herself.
Yeah.
But our bench is pretty electric when we're playing women's. So I'm going to use that to my advantage. Jay's going crazy, jumping up and down on the sidelines. I've seen it. He better be doing that for me too. Jay, if
Oh
you're
yeah.
listening, if you do that for everyone else, but not but me for me, I am mad. So
Say it in French. Say it in French.
I don't have French
Don't
down
have
yet.
that one.
Maybe
Oh,
one
it's
day.
okay. All right.
And Jaume's my Adidas partner. Actually, my paddle has his name on it. So come on, Adidas. What am I doing?
Why does it not have your name on it? Well, that's another
Working on it.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know who I'm gonna play mixed with. Our 3rd guy is actually Donald Young, which I'm pretty
Mhm.
excited about too. He's lefty, so that's also a possibility for mixed since I am
Ooh.
stronger on the left, though I've been working really hard on the right side. So I feel like I'm ready to be a right side queen in mixed. It's my time.
You're gonna take the right side. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm playing with a righty, give me the right. I'm ready. So I'm excited for the
Okay.
season. We are playing in Grand Rapids for the midseason tournament, followed by San Diego, which was not on my schedule, and I get to take that trip now. I like San Diego, so I'm excited about that. And we actually do go to Chicago as well, so that one
Oh,
stands
nice.
as the
Nice.
same schedule. So those will be the 3. Hopefully, we perform well enough to make the playoffs, and then we'll be heading to Dallas for the playoffs. And obviously, if we keep winning, additional playoffs after that.
You will. You absolutely not if you keep winning, when you keep winning. A couple of notes on what you just said. Number one, I did love you and Zayn as a combo because you
I will
guys were
miss
just
Zane. Yes.
laughing. I remember Dave Fleming even calling this out on a match because they were like, look at how much fun they're having. Like, how great is this? I think you guys were down like, I think to like
Yeah.
2-10 or something. And you guys were just having the best time. No, nobody was like upset. You were obviously trolling a little bit, but it was a really good time. Now, I want to say, I'm going to put this out there as a challenge. I would love to see you get Jesse out there smiling and
Let's
laughing
see
a
what
little
I
bit
can
out
do,
there.
Nikki.
Yeah.
My
No pressure.
jokes are gonna come out. Now, if she's gonna smile or not, TBD. We will see. Jesse and I do get along very well, so
Good, good, yeah, yeah.
I'm excited to be on the team. And
She is
again,
a powerhouse. Yeah.
thank you to Chicago Slice for everything. For
Yeah.
people that think that I am not someone that I try not to burn bridges, I just think that they didn't do anything wrong. I don't think I did anything wrong. It's just something that, hey, this wasn't the best fit for either at this time. So they want to build with a young crew, and I think they got a pretty good one to get that started. So it's awesome. I wish them well. Not if they're playing against me, but
I was gonna
outside
say,
of that,
yeah,
go Slice.
well enough. Yeah, well enough,
And
but not
obviously
better than.
maintain my friendship with Zane. Zane and I are
Oh,
friends, and I still like his wife way more than I like him. So nothing's
that's gonna
changed
be
there.
forever. Nothing's changed there. Yeah.
Correct. Shout out Jenny.
One other question for you: have you been to Atlanta before in your life?
I have a few times.
And yeah, you've played there in
I
the
love that
Peach. What is
venue,
it? I'm
Peachtree
forgetting the life.
Corners.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been to Atlanta
All
a
you
few
have to do is
times
say the word peach, and it's a name in Atlanta. You can like
for sure.
Peachtree, specifically Peachtree, but usually Peach. What'd you think about Atlanta? You liked it?
Yeah, it's nice. I'm actually surprised there's not an MLP in Atlanta
I
this year.
agree. I agree.
Uh, that Lifetime is an incredible facility,
Hmm.
and I think the San Clemente and the Atlanta venues are my 2 favorite to play at. So, yeah, I do like Atlanta. I don't know if we'll do events there or anything, so I need to catch up with the team and kind of get a little bit more integrated, but yeah, I don't even have my shirts yet.
I mean,
Come on,
that's crazy.
bouncers.
That's just another element that people don't know. So with the trade, like some of the GMs or just the folks who work on the team were literally pressing jerseys
Oh, yeah.
like the night before MLP this or even morning of. So yeah, they're like quick on it, putting the names on the back of the jerseys. Oh my gosh, Mari. Anything else? Anything else we were missing? But I feel like that's a good behind the scenes of what happened and just like taking us through. Like you took us through the emotional roller coaster of the day. But yeah, it was a
Yeah,
wild
thankfully,
ride.
my parents were with me. Yeah, they're
Hmm.
just kind of my emotional support there. It's good
Napping.
timing. They
Weren't
were
they
visiting
napping?
me. They were napping for sure. I mean, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right,
Yeah.
Nikki? I enjoy a nap. They enjoy a nap. We are a napping family. But yeah, they were great. It's just so good to have the parents visiting in the 1 week that
You
things
needed
work
it.
out sometimes. I
It
got
was meant
to
to
stay
be.
that extra week at home. Mom and dad were with me, and I got to spend time with them in Brazil the 2 weeks before. So a lot more family time than I expected, and it
In
was
a good
great.
way.
And now they're taking care of my home while I'm away in New York visiting Nikki
Hanging out.
in
We're
different
gonna have
places
a
right now.
blast. Right now, we're not in the same place because you don't have the background of 10,000 paddles. But we'll be hanging out all week or half the week. So props to mom and dad. Mom is
The best
the
pickleball
best
player in the
pickleball player in
family.
the family. That's her title. It'll just show up on the bottom of the
Yeah.
screen.
Dad had me balls for some videos today, so
Cool. There
that's
you
cool.
go. There you go. All right, we'll see
Were they
some of that.
great feeds? No. But were they
Doesn't
feeds?
matter.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, no, that's all that
The
matters.
effort
Did the
was
balls
there.
make it to you? Did even attempt to make it to you? Man, well, it sounds like you had a good weekend. It sounds like no matter what, it all worked out. You had a great weekend.
Yeah. No, it certainly did, and I'm glad to be in New York now, a couple of clinics here, then on to Toronto, and then in Grand Rapids. But Nikki, let's, switch gears here. Let's hear
Ah,
about, your fried weekend.
where'd you come up with that one? So actually, before we go into my fried weekend, if anyone has any questions, because it was an interesting topic. So if anybody's listening and has questions for Mari about this process, because this is a weird, wacky trade process, everything. So if anyone has any questions for Mari, by all means, drop it into the comments, let us know, and then we can hopefully try to answer it. And the Mari will try to
Yeah,
answer that in the next couple of weeks. How was my fried weekend? So I went to MLP, like I mentioned, over here at Randall's Island. I was only there for 3 out of the 4 days because I was coming back from Las Vegas. So
only.
I was rushing home as fast as I could. I got home at like 1 a.m. on Thursday night, and then it was out the door bright
Friday
and early
morning?
Friday morning,
Wow.
which is why I look like this. A couple of crazy things happened. I got to commentate my first MLP match. So I think I
I
comment.
tuned in.
Did you?
Also, I got a text from someone that shall remain unnamed for now about your quality commentating.
What? You got a message
Uh,
about me?
I got a message about you, and
Finally.
he's a guest on our pod that's coming up. So I
Ooh.
won't mention a name, but you might know who it is.
Uh, oh, well, I mean, I could guess if you said he. If that gives you
I did
any
say he.
indication of our upcoming season, y'all, we got a good mix, but we made sure we got that girl power on this on this
Yes,
season. So that
absolutely.
kinda narrows it down, but I'm gonna ask you about it later because I wanna know now, and maybe we'll wait until his podcast is airing, his episode's airing, and then you can tell me, you can be like, "It was him." But, that's cool, that's cool. I mean, I'll take it if anybody is giving me any props for that. It was my first one. Tony Roy, who is from the Best Pickleball Coach Instagram, Pickleball Therapy is the name of his podcast, which I was on a couple of months ago, which is really great. It's a podcast all about the mental side of pickleball and just focus on yourself and your game. And so it's not necessarily his coaching, although he does strategy and drills and all of that, is really about
Right.
just truly the mental side of the game, which is great. Or that's what the podcast is about. And so, anyways, so he invited me. He didn't have a co-host, so he was like, "Nikki, you want to join?" And MLP, they were like, "Yeah, yeah, absolutely, why not?" So he invited me, and it was awesome. It was awesome being
I
up
enjoy
in the
commentating
booth.
too. It's pretty
Oh
cool.
my god, it was so much fun. Now, the one thing that I mean, I'm chatty, so I had a hard time in 2 ways. Number 1, not talking through points, but number 2, sometimes the points would be so good that I would just be in awe, and then I wouldn't talk because I was like, "Oh my god, this is so good." Yeah, and of course, yeah, it's not like I was cheering for anyone, but at the same
Right.
time, I was just like, "Whoa." But yeah, I loved it. It was really fun to do that with Tony. We got really good feedback. I was really pleased. I actually asked the Pro Pickleball, I think it's called Pro Pickleball Talk in Discord. It's Zane and Nico's Discord channel. I was like,
Yeah.
give me feedback, y'all. Everybody gave me good feedback. And I was like, don't be too harsh, but I'm very open to constructive feedback. But everyone was super,
Yeah.
super kind. Yeah, I commentated a couple games. What was crazy that takes me into my next subject was on my, I think it was my third match, I think, that I commentated. It was yesterday. We were in a dream breaker, and all of a sudden it just started pouring. And so they had to pause the match and move. And they had to figure it out. So we were like, rain delay. What do we do? Do we go inside? Do we go outside? What do we do? So they ended up moving one court, rolling out a court indoors. So they moved the amateurs over. I think we took out some tennis courts maybe because there were actually no official pickleball courts in this facility.
Right.
They only have tennis and padel. That's another conversation. They used to have pickleball, not anymore, but they rolled out this pickleball court. And so the fans were like not even sitting around. They were literally just
I
standing
could see it on the
around the
stream.
court. Yeah, it was crazy. People were packed in there. It was so hot and muggy, but we got to finish commentating in that area, which was wild. And we were like on the court. We were right there, like truly
Right.
just on the sideline. But that whole experience was wild. Seeing the MLP act so quickly to get that court, like those guys were moving to get all of the stuff moved inside. Sadly, they only had one court, so that ended up delaying the day massively, and then transferring some games to the next day. But the commentating was just a dream come true, literally a dream come true for me. I've always wanted to sit in
That's
the
awesome,
booth and
Nikki.
commentate. Yeah, I've always
Yeah.
thought that would just be like a really cool thing to just talk about sports on TV. And so I was like, what do I do? Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is happening. I can't believe it's happening. But somebody asked me, was I nervous doing it? And I said, no, because it was just so much fun. Why would I be nervous? I'm just getting to talk
Right.
about, I mean, I can understand why you'd be nervous, but I was not at all. I just had a great time. Tony made it super, super comfortable and super easy. So I had a great time. And then the rest of the weekend, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off, shooting content like crazy. If you haven't already, if you follow my Instagram, you get to see behind the scenes from the weekend. I posted so much stuff, especially yesterday and today, lots of stuff just to see what the experience is like. Because the experience of an MLP, as much as I posted the video footage of it, you don't know what it's like until you're there. Do
Right.
you feel different as a player playing in a PPA versus an MLP?
Yes.
What do you feel? What's different?
I think the energy is just higher at an MLP.
Mm,
The thing about MLP is that every game is obviously best of 5. So
hmm
it's with your team. You have people usually cheering one way or another, just loudly. I think that just that energy is just higher in general at an MLP. So if you grab a Thursday at a PPA, Thursday is round of 16s. Yeah, there are people cheering and stuff, but there's so many matches going on. I think that's the bigger difference, right? There are so many matches going on in so many different courts that people are spread out. In MLP, there's only 2 courts, sometimes even just 1. So it's everyone's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
energy is just off the charts.
Is off the charts. It is, I mean, the amount of screaming and cowbells and, and drums and just like the place
Yeah.
is just wild. And PPAs are really fun also. So I'm just going to say that. But I like to
Oh,
say that MLP
definitely.
is like
Yeah.
the gateway to pro pickleball because it's even more sense of community than pickleball already is because people are there for teams for the most part. And some people are just kind of like there for the vibes, but a lot of people are there for teams and they have their gear that they're wearing and sometimes their players got name on the back. And it's just so cool that the connection, but there's no other word to describe it in my opinion than electric. Like, it really feels this energy is
It feels
just
that way as a
vibrant.
player too. So
Okay,
that
good.
we can agree on here. It does feel electric. I get chills sometimes. Like, it got
Yeah.
so loud in St. Pete, I was like, "Whoa." Like, that was
Ooh,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah. I like how you said you liked whether cheering for you or against you doesn't matter, you just want them cheering.
Yeah, give me the energy. I don't hear where they're cheering from or
That's
for.
true, you just know,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah, you just hear it, just hear the roars. Who do you
yeah.
think are the loudest and what would you consider, like, the craziest fan base?
I think the 2 that compete for loudest and craziest fan bases are the 2 that are right in your backyard, Nikki. Brooklyn and the Fives, I think, are the 2 loudest.
Funny you mentioned that because I have a video that's coming out talking about the battle of the fans, which is literally those two because that's what we experienced this weekend. The very final match of the weekend was those two teams, and my God, was that loud! It was so loud. Now
The
I will
only
say
cheer
also,
I remember this so
sheesh,
clearly. This
yeah,
was in New York in '24, and I don't even know how this started, but it was so funny that obviously being on AL's team, she's gonna win the
yeah, yeah,
majority of her matches.
of
She
course,
carries us in a way, right?
yeah,
And someone from the other side, I don't remember what team we were playing against, said, "But yeah, that's AL's teammate." And someone heard it. So on the Fives cheering section, they started AL's teammates, and all of us start doing it with them. And we're like, "Yeah, we'll take that." Like, we're not past that.
oh
I'm not
my
above
God.
being
The
AL's
things that they
teammate. So
the things that they were saying, the chants were hilarious. It was like,
yeah,
"Thank you, net." And it was like, "Thank you, net," as soon as the team would hit into the net. Or or if you got like a foot fault or anything, they would go, "You can't do that." And it was like the most hilarious
yeah, that's
chants.
the ones that we remember because it's just like when they started AL's teammates, me and I think it was me and Will looked at each other. We're like, "Yeah, send it,
Yep,
say it
yep.
louder."
That's fine. That's fine. I'll take it.
Yeah, it was pretty funny, but there's some funny ones. There's some moments that I can't help but laugh
Yeah,
because it's
and you would see it. You would see it. The players were doing that. These fans are just so wacky and wild. The players just start laughing like, "Oh my God!" But it was
yeah.
crazy to see them together in one at the stadium at this location where it was just so loud. It was like shaking the building, and the cowbells and the drums and the flags and everything. It was wild. And now Brooklyn's got their wacky little mascot thing. It was just so funny too.
Mhm.
But poor guy, he was like, out there in the heat in all black
Just
costume,
dancing
just
away.
soaking, just dancing away. I was like, "Whew, he's gonna tip over." Anyways, so MLP is more of a team environment versus PPA, which is more of an individual slash, you have your teammate environment, but it's not the same as like a full team that you're representing with, multiple people. I like that environment. I would say better if you're going to have to pick the two, but I like both of them. But MLP is just different. The other thing I wanted to talk about was just some of the stuff that we saw this weekend. A couple of things that we saw that were just wild. Number one are the dream breakers that we saw. There was dream breaker after dream breaker. So when I was commentating, the very first one that I was commentating, I was like, "Oh man, I would love for this to go to a dream breaker." I was like, so like this is such an exciting match, whatever. And sure enough, it did. And I was like, "Oh my God," and called it. And then the
You
next
got
day,
to commentate a
yeah,
Dream Breaker.
yeah, I did. That was really cool. And then the next day, I said something about a dream breaker, and Tony was like, "No, no, no, don't you?" And then sure enough, it went into dream breaker. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So if I'm on the microphone and I say the word dream breaker, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Don't commentate my matches. Dream Breakers are nerve-wracking.
That was stressful. So for maybe some of the listeners again who don't know what a dream breaker is, Mari, can you just tell us what it is and why it's nerve wracking?
Yes. So Major League Pickleball is played in a best of 5 format. So we start with women's doubles, 1 to 11. One of the team wins that. Men's doubles, 1 to 11. One of the teams wins that. Mixed doubles, 1 and 2. These are actually matched up the previous night. The away team submits their lineup, and the home team reacts to their lineup and chooses who they want playing against each team. If the match is tied 2-2 after both gender matches and both mixed matches, we play a Dream Breaker 1 to 21 with singles points. We submit a lineup of all 4 players, 2 men, 2 women, and we each play 4 points at a time against the
Mhm.
same opponent from the other team. Rally scoring with a freeze at 20.
Yep. 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 That's
I
exactly
can't
right.
explain
So
it better than that.
Nah, that was pretty darn good. And then you have to win on your serve. You have to win on your serve. So,
That's what the
yeah,
freeze means, Nikki.
well, for those who don't know, we're telling people who don't know what a dream breaker is. I guarantee you
Sorry, I can't
that
take you
if
seriously with your red face.
oh my gosh, it's like a little clown nose. It just it was takes like the drama, the dramatics, and the tension of the game just to an extreme. That's what you want to see as a fan. Doesn't matter who you're cheering for. It doesn't matter if you're not even cheering for any team. You go there and it's just like, oh man, every single, especially with rally scoring, which I can't stand. But anyway, rally scoring is just crazy, and you just literally every single rally counts, and it's just so much fun. And not only did that happen, then we had more dream breakers today. That it was just the fives lost in a dream breaker, and then the Brooklyn
Yeah,
pickleball team won theirs. But like the crowd was like jumping and like running onto the court, and just I don't know, it was crazy. So there was that I wanted to talk about this weekend. I commentated. There were ton of dream breakers. I want to go a little bit like not low, but maybe somber for a minute, and then we'll go back high just after that. Rachel, just got to shout out Rachel for sticking through the weekend. So Rachel Rohrbacher of the Brooklyn pickleball team had a wall. The scoreboard really collapse and fall on her, and it knocked her
crazy.
down. And how terrifying was that? I can't
I was
even
actually
imagine.
watching. I had it pulled up
Were
and I just heard
you?
the sound. It was outside of the stream, but I just heard the sound and I was like, "Whoa."
Oh my gosh. It
Looked
was
up and then you just see everyone kind of looking at her in panic.
Yeah, I think that was maybe the scariest part. I was telling somebody it's kind of like I mean, she wasn't hurt. It didn't seem that badly because she ended up playing later in the weekend, but apparently she was scratched up fairly badly. So that's what it was. But you know when you're not supposed to gasp when a toddler falls or something, you're supposed to like pick them up or something. But if you go like or whatever, the baby's gonna cry
They
more. They're
start
more likely to
crying.
cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it was that kind of situation where thankfully she was okay, but you couldn't help but react like that because it was terrifying.
Right.
And it probably just made the situation worse. I just want to give her props and her team props and everything for uplifting her through that situation and helping
Yeah.
her keep her morale up because I can't imagine getting back on the court. That must have been a bit traumatic. And then getting back and playing again is just
No
so
doubt.
strong of her. Yeah, just wild. Wild did that happen.
Yeah, definitely. No, Rachel's a great competitor and someone that I always enjoy playing against. She's fair, she's competes hard, and just yeah, I'm glad she's okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was watching from afar, but yeah, wow,
So her coming back onto the court for her first game back, whoo, I think that was the loudest that it was this entire weekend.
I bet.
The
That's pretty cool though.
screams for her when she came back, that I think would almost take away any reminder of what had already happened because
Right.
I mean, these people might as well have carried her onto the court on their shoulders. Like they were just like screaming and chanting and just the whole thing was so cool to see them.
Yeah,
The
cool.
fan base, because it's not any fan base, it's the Brooklyn Pickleball team fan base, which is wild. So there was that happened. So shout out to you, Rachel, for pushing through that. And then the other one that I wanted to shout out, actually, I mentioned this earlier, but is the person who I don't know you would say the word replaced, but took your spot on the slice, Elsie Hendershot and Danielle Townsend, two youngsters, but Elsie is a real youngster. She is, I think she just turned 13, right? She's 12, maybe just turned 13.
13, yeah, I think.
She is a baby out there with these guys hanging, and she gave ALW in Georgia, her and Jamie gave them a run for their money. And I don't know if it was Elsie just like the I don't know, when the nerves just take over, it's like anxiety, and then all of a sudden you can actually
Yeah.
perform. I was like, who is this? And watching her face, I was right on the sidelines taking video, so I'll post some content of this. But her face, she was just like a fierce competitor. I was like, how old is this
Okay,
kid?
you know what's funny? And I will just say this because I love stats like this. Elsie in one attempt at Anna Lee and Georgia got more points than Anna and Kate has scored on them in their 2 attempts. So,
Ooh, so that's what I was
sorry,
telling
not just
people,
throw shade here, but,
not to throw any
it
shade,
is
but
pretty cool to
also
see Elsie just kind of, opening her wings and just kinda getting her own opportunity there.
I posted something about how that was practically it was like such a close match or something because the score was 5-11 and somebody commented and they were like, "That's not a close match, it's 5-11." And I was like, "Yeah, against who?"
Well, to
Right?
be fair, Jamie and I got 7 against them, okay?
That's
So, I got 2
that's
more than
totally
Elsie.
fair. That's totally fair. However, you're not 13 years old.
That's
So
true. I am
I was
30, a
you're
little different.
30. Let's change the
Yeah,
numbers around.
exactly. Just
But
change the
yeah,
numbers.
just this like gusto, this like je ne sais quoi about this kid. I was super, super impressed.
Wow, we're getting fancy
And
here, Nikki.
yeah, throw that out there. Since you weren't speaking French for Jay, I guess I will. But
Okay. Nice.
But that Elsie had a maybe, and then the other word I'm gonna use is swagger, which is not so much about Elsie, but about Danielle Townsend, who was true just like I mean, that's like swagger through and through. But walking through this property, the, location that we were at, the fans were, I think, almost as wild for her as they were for ALW. She is so hot right now, and she's just so cool. Like, I have video of her. She ended up commentating one of the kids' matches, and the kids come up to her, and she just like puts out her hand, like so cool, and like gives the kid a high five, just like yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, but not in a super nonchalant, like I don't really care. They
Right.
truly just like, yeah, of course, yeah, that's cool. Let's talk. Yeah, it was just so cool to see. She was fun. She was a character. She was definitely a character, and in the best
Yeah, she
way.
is.
Yeah, and of course her accent. Somebody asked her, "Are you Australian?" And she was like, "Do I sound Australian?"
He's funny.
Perfect,
Also another
perfect
great
answer.
competitor. It's awesome to have people coming in and, be a little different, right? She plays a
Yeah,
big game. It's cool to see. But
yeah.
hey, there were a lot of other cool things happening this weekend too, and you just briefly touched on one of them. Junior MLP had their first event this past week, and it seemed awesome. I'm upset that I didn't get to watch, but these kids, they're
They're
coming for my
so
job.
good. Mari, you should be scared because they
Well,
are
thanks,
you
Nikki. That makes me feel better.
Sorry. I said be scared because these kids are so good. These kids are so talented. Again, that maybe this is where Elsie and Danielle are getting it from because they're so cool and they're just having a blast, but they're also serious. I don't know. And I don't want them to get too serious. That was one thing. Danny actually called that out and was like, chill, guys, let's just have a good time, have just play and whatever. But, I was very, very impressed out there watching the juniors. And I love that experience can happen, especially it was a very cool moment when the rain started and they moved the court indoors because the pros were
Right.
literally literally playing right next door to the kids, like side by side. The thing that was the barrier between them was the fans. And so the
That's
fans
pretty
could,
cool.
as they turned
Yeah,
around,
it
watch
seemed
the
like it was a
kids.
good event. Hopefully, I get to watch at least one of them, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. And the other thing, there was also an MILP event going on at the same time, and I don't think they had it at this one yet, Nikki, but it will be coming. So we had the kids playing, we had MILP, and another addition that has come about in MLP is the Champions Series.
Mm,
The senior pros are getting a shot at the team events too. And Nikki, have you gotten a chance to watch senior pros competing?
I absolutely have. I saw them this weekend. It is so much fun. They're serious.
They're intense
They are intense, Mari.
and the grunting levels are high.
Oh my god, so much grunting. I guess they need to maybe for a little bit of extra, just a little extra power or energy or I don't know what. But either way, man, those guys are intense.
It's
But good for
awesome.
them.
So I'm super excited to get to watch those two. I'm friends with a few senior pros. I'll get to cheer them on at the events. I
Yep.
think just everything coming together, obviously, with the juniors, the amateurs, the seniors, the regular pros. I say that in
Hmm.
quotations. I don't know what to call ourselves. I guess we're just the pros.
The normal pros.
Yeah, but it's just super cool to see everything come together. These events are becoming massive and the crowds keep getting bigger. So I
Yep.
can't wait for Grand Rapids. It's a super fun event. You're gonna have to make the trip eventually, Nikki,
I have
but
to do it. I have
there
to get
might
out
be
there.
a Mama Humberg appearance there.
Well, even more so because I missed her this
I
weekend. So,
know, I'm
okay. All
sorry. I'm
right.
sorry. I
Yeah.
kept her all to
All right.
myself.
For Mama Humberg, I'm going to have to say yes. Yeah. It's so cool to see everybody coming together again. This is why this sport is just so special. This is so generational, just so unique to have folks playing at such obviously lots of kids play sports at a young age, but to have them playing alongside the 70, 60, 70, 80 year olds, whatever, is just phenomenal. Whether it's on the rec courts or watching and how cool must that be to be a little kid watching your favorite pros,
Yeah.
but then also looking and seeing that even at this, older age in life, older stage in life, that maybe years ago you would just think, well, they're never going to do anything like that again, that type of movement. And you're seeing them out there moving the way that they do. That would be so inspiring. It's inspiring to me, and I'm 40, almost
Yeah.
41 years old. But telling these kids that they can do it, they have that, a very, very long future in pickleball. Very, very cool. I love it.
Love that.
Oh, and also, since we're on the topic of seniors, I just want to give a shout out to Joyce Jones, who we heard about. Our lovely producer Paige told us about this wonderful woman, Joyce Jones, who is now officially the oldest. Is it the oldest female pickleball player that there's
Competitive
ever
pickleball player.
competitive player? Sorry, competitive pickleball player that there has ever been since the start of the sport. So Joyce
She
just
has
hit
been playing for 60 61 years.
Yeah, 61 years in this beautiful sport. She is 96 years old and still going. Maybe she's on the MLP Champion Series. Who
Shout out
knows?
Joyce. If I
Yeah.
ever get to share the court with you, I would like to be on your side and not against you.
Agreed. Agreed.
Let's play against Nikki.
Why did I get humbled by the knee braces again? Yeah. And wrist braces. All
Yeah,
the
exactly.
braces.
Seriously.
So props to you, Joyce. And come hang out with us on the pod. Just come say hi.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nikki, this was my request, okay? I love talking about things that'll ruffle some feathers, and I think that we can shift over here to some pickleball pet peeves of ours
Yeah.
because we might share some, but I think we have our own, and I think maybe we each say our top 2.
Okay. We're limited to
How does
this
that
too.
sound?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah, let's keep it short because we'll definitely have more. And this is actually a good one.
I wanna
Whoever's
hear other
listening out
people's
there,
as well.
I
Yes,
have to
please.
hear if you're listening, comment in your pickleball pet peeves. We want to see how long this list can get because there's a lot of stuff that people can do. My
I
list is
wrote
long.
down 12, but I am going to select
Ooh.
2 to talk about today.
Okay. So I would say my number one, I actually have a video posted about this and it got some traction. So I'm just going to say it here because I have to call it as I see it. I cannot stand playing on pickleball courts with tennis lines. I say tennis, not, get it out of here. Get it out of here. In that video, I
What
specifically
a
said, get your tennis.
silly sport.
What a silly
Tennis, not
sport. Why don't
pickleball.
you play a real sport, pickleball? No, get those nasty tennis lines off of my pickleball courts. I don't want them.
Are
I
you
don't want them.
making tennis rage bait content?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I
No, but
love that
seriously,
for you,
it
for
throws off
us.
my eyes for us. It throws off my eyes, and I have such a hard time something about the different lines, seeing where the kitchen is, and, it's just like a weird setup, and I don't like it. I don't like it. So I'd say
Okay,
none of
that's
that,
a
no more of that.
good one, except also the only reason why I do like play on those lines is when the ball hits it, it skids so much, so my slices do super well on it. But,
Okay, that's a hack. That's a life hack, a pickleball life hack.
I can
Okay.
aim for the line sometimes. Okay, that was a good one,
Well,
Nikki. My first one is players that when I ask, "How did your match go?" they immediately go, "My partner played terrible." So,
well, my
players that
partner
immediately start with the "my partner," it's like, "No, no, no, I quite frankly don't care about that. I'm asking about you." So, it's one of my pet peeves about my students that I ask, "How did the tournament go?" "Well, my partner." No,
mm,
stop right there.
mm, zip it, zip it.
We both
Nope.
actually stopped for a second. That was
Yeah,
impressive
it's
work.
like,
But
yeah.
that's my first one. I don't like that one.
Okay, that's a really good one. I like that. I'm sure I've been guilty of that in the past. I'm sure that my partners have probably been guilty of that in the past. But at the end of the day, I know like I take ownership. I actually take full ownership of if I'm having a bad game or whatever happens.
Same. I
Yeah, yeah,
oftentimes think it's my fault, even when I've been told it's not. I just
yeah.
always think I can
You're
do
like,
something better. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man. Oh, these are good. It's so hard to pick just two. But
I
let me
know,
see.
I know.
Let me see. What's another juicy one that I have? And I'm not going to say like coaching mid game because we all know that. Like, cut it out. Cut it out. Whoever does that.
You know
The
it's actually
unsolicited
legal, right?
coaching.
For unsolicited
Oh no,
coaching is different.
unsolicited coaching is annoying for sure. We know that one. I would say, I guess if I was going to pick another top, this is a kind of a random one, but I don't like when people paddle tap too hard. Like
I
it's like
totally know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's like
I hold my paddle back a little bit. I'm like, "Oh,
it
no,
hurts.
don't
It, like, can
do
feel
that."
it in my teeth. I feel like I don't like it. I don't like it. And yeah,
Your
it makes my
babies. Your
like
paddles are
my
your babies.
baby. I have so many. I only have so many, right? So I got to protect them all. No, I think I don't know if it's like a newer player thing. I'm not sure. Are people maybe just get aggressive, but they just like, and you hear a certain noise when it hits.
Yeah, I know, I
Yep,
know.
you're cringing. You know what I'm talking
I
about.
am. I totally agree with this one, and I did not write that one down, but that is a
Add
pet
it to the
peeve of mine
list.
too. So
Yeah.
very good, Nikki. Since we've done 2 partner ones and what was your first one? I already forgot. My
Tennis
memories.
lines. Tennis
That's right, tennis
lines.
lines. Okay. So you talked about tennis lines. I'll do another facility one as my second. So facilities that the courts don't have any fencing or any
You.
protection between the courts that the balls keep rolling on my
Oh,
court. Like I
stop
have a
that
put away
right
ready. It's
now.
like ball. I'm gonna
Stop
throw my
that.
paddle at you. I'm gonna do it.
That's understandable. That's the type of crash out I'm totally
It
okay
drives
with.
me crazy. I've had to replay a point 3 times, and I'm just like, "This is just so frustrating." For rec, it's a little better, but still, it just stops the flow of things. So, Facilities, stop it.
Cut it out. You put like even just like a little barrier between, just
Yeah, a
something.
little
Cut it
barrier
out.
is already super helpful, even if it's just on the
Oh,
ground, right? And it holds those balls that are rolling because it's rare that the ball flies like in the air sideways. That happens every once in a while, but the rolling ones are the ones that and
all
then
the
sometimes people run to get the ball and it's in the middle of a point and then I'm panicking saying someone's going to get hurt. There's just a lot to it. You can see my passion here. Stop that.
Yep. Stop it. Stop it. No more of that. Yeah. Put some barriers up. Come on, facilities. Pay just like a little bit of extra money for it. You can do it. And you put some cardboard up. I don't care. Put something up that's going to stop the balls from rolling. Cannot stand
Exactly.
that. Mari, that is a good one. I think that makes it to number one of the list.
Hey,
Woo!
I mean, it's one that just we have to think about, right? It's things that I think a lot of people
It's
will agree with. As we said before, I really want to hear yours. The more particular and weird, the better. Please send it
mm-hmm.
all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. I like
Like
it.
I
I like
hear
it.
that Nikki really loves when people wear like black shoes and white socks.
That's definitely one of my biggest pet peeves. Christian Alshon,
Just like
you gotta
so
you gotta
specific. So
it's
stuff like that.
so,
Send it our way.
like, I don't know, creepy uncle. I don't know. I don't like it. There's something about black shoes and white, and not just any white socks, like the high white socks. I don't know, man. And what's crazy is that for whatever he is, I don't know, Christian Alshon, like whatever, he's clearly like I guess, societally acceptable, good looking dude. But like, why would he wear that and just make him look so dorky?
I
I
had
can't.
never realized it until you said it. So, to be
Uh,
fair, I'm just not paying attention to his socks or his
I
shoes.
could barely watch the game because I couldn't stop looking at them. I was like,
That's
"No, change."
crazy,
And
Nikki.
then he
That's a
put on
little crazy of you.
it was driving me nuts. Then he put on some red shoes with the white socks, and I was like, "Yes, beautiful,
That's
much
better.
better, look
Okay, so
great."
red
Yeah,
shoes with white
yep,
socks is acceptable. Just can't do
yep,
the black shoes with white socks.
yep.
Those are awesome. And Nikki, we'll keep bringing the pet peeves and fun topics like this back, but those are good. That's a good start for us.
Well, what a crazy, crazy little afternoon that we've had here together, Mari. What a crazy week that we've had together. But I just want to thank you very quickly for sharing your insight on the trade. I'm sure people were waiting for some juicy stuff from Mari to talk about this trade, and you heard it here first. And I think it was still very informative, really good stuff hearing about your experience as a player, because a lot of people just don't know about that stuff. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And Nikki, not to get all emotional here, but just thank you for being a great co-host and making it through 5 episodes with me because I don't think there's anyone I want to do it with. And this has just been a blast
same.
so far. I can't wait for the second half of our season that's going to be
Woo.
coming up after this and for hopefully many more seasons to come. But I've been enjoying our solo episodes, our guests, and just everything in between. When this episode airs, we'll actually have met each other in person for the first time.
Yes,
So we can talk about
you'll see
this
video footage of this.
next time,
Don't
and
you
you'll
worry.
certainly see video footage of me making Nikki immediately a 4-0. So I will do what I can, Nikki.
Yep.
I promise you that.
Yep. In one day, I'm gonna
One
go
day,
from 3-2, three
we
five
got
ish
this.
to 4-0. Awesome, amazing. Thank you so much, Maury. And also, same, right back at you. Clearly, I mean, everybody's obsessed with you, so I'm just like, yeah, yeah, that's my podcast co-host.
I don't know. You
Awesome.
just seem to find the right people, which
Yeah,
I
right,
appreciate.
right.
So
Or they
thank you
find me.
all
They
if you're
found me.
listening that went up to Nikki and said good things about me. I will send you your Venmo later.
Yeah, that's exactly. I knew it. I knew it. All right, folks. Well, that wraps up our solo episode for the midseason point. We're back next week on, guess what? Thursday, right? We're taking a little break. We're back
Every
next week on
single
Thursday.
Thursday on every platform that you can watch. Our producer has informed us that Apple also has video. I did not know. I
Oh,
don't know technological things like this.
mm,
So,
it's a
Spotify,
new thing.
YouTube, Apple for video, I believe those are our options, but you pretty much hear this anywhere. And
Yep.
we have recognizable voices. You have nothing better to do than to listen to Nikki and I talk. So, go ahead
You've
and do
said
that.
that so many times. You're like
It's
gonna
just,
start.
it's true. I mean,
Uh,
when facts are facts, they just get repeated, Nikki. That's just what
yes,
happens.
yes, agreed. And then also, I gotta say, because of the thing right behind you on your bed, you gotta say, "Go Brazil, go Brazil,
I
go get
hope
them in the
they're
World Cup."
through to the round of 16 when this airs.
Oh
But
God,
yes, let's go Brazil. I
should be
will
good.
be wearing my jersey tomorrow. Very, very excited for this. So, but enjoy the
Yep,
World Cup and yeah, thank you all for listening. See you next week.
yep. See y'all later.